Hello everybody and welcome back to another reaction video brought to you by the Out on That Line Music Podcast. I'm going to be reacting to the song Poison by Aaliyah and The Weeknd. Look, I'm not going to sit here and claim to be the world's #1 Aaliyah superfan, but her album One in a Million was the first album that I bought with my own money. And I loved that album. So much so that I brought it into school for show and tell one day. And that day happened to be, and this is true, 9/11. But enough of my yapping. Let's get on with the reaction to Poison.
How can I explain myself to you?
There she is.
I just keep lurking through my mind. Is it the love of all the time? I've given my heart, my joy, my soul to you. If it is real, I sure can see. Gotta start looking out for me. Had enough, my heart won't take no more. I know it seems that I don't care. Sometimes my ways are less than fair.
Not gonna lie to you, this is a little weird. Not the quality of the song, but this experience.
You have given me no choice. I feel I'm obsessed inside my voice and say,
this feeling, there's no drug that can compare. You're so cold, I can see your breath, I swear. They told me not to fall in love, wondering where it all went wrong. You were my poison all along.
midnight, I lay awake in tears and pain, searching my heart for what went wrong, asking myself what's going on.
I'm not sure how seamlessly these two recordings are being blended, which is to be expected, but
somehow I didn't feel the danger, and now I'm sleeping with a stranger. To see all these years we flushed them down the drain. Now it's too late for both of us. No regret for what we lost and what we shared. Maybe tomorrow we'll love again, but until then we'll stay as friends on day.
This feeling, there's no drug that can
there's like an audio quality flip in there. I mean, not a big deal, but
I can see your breath, I swear. They told me not to fall in love, wondering where it all went wrong. You were my poison all along. Poison all along. Oh yeah. Ooh. Baby girl, poison all along.
okay. It was a bite-sized little song. Okay, so I have a lot of thoughts, and that usually sounds negative, and I promise it's not all negative. There's a weird experience. That's the only way I can put it. It was a very weird experience. It sounds to me like maybe she only recorded a couple verses with like a very simple backing track just to get it down, and that's as far as they got. It doesn't feel like it was a complete Aaliyah song that they beefed up with The Weeknd. In fact, it sounds way more like a Weeknd song that used samples of Aaliyah. So they release artists' content posthumously all the time. I accept that. But this just feels a little weird. So this whole thing for me kind of brings up a long-standing ethical issue that I've really mostly experienced with movies, which is when they tried to resurrect dead actors through CGI. I personally think that's a little ghoulish. The uncanny valley of it all, I have some questions. There's a little bit of that at play with this. Obviously, it's not like a visual element, which I think would be way more distracting. So then as far as how this song is purely as a song, regardless of the experience I had listening to it and the circumstances surrounding it, it's a fine song. It's unremarkable, which sounds really mean. It's a pretty standard Weeknd B-side almost, which makes it feel a little anticlimactic because if you're going to do something with Aaliyah, even if you just have scraps, I say go big or go home. And they kind of played it safe, and maybe that's to mitigate some of the questions about how weird it might be to suddenly bring Aaliyah back 20 years after her death. I don't know. Can't say for sure, but it's a fine song. The one great thing that this song could do is bring Aaliyah back into the public consciousness 20 years after her death. Aaliyah was one of the biggest casualties of the R. Kelly scandal. She was a talent in her own right and was well on her way to becoming a megastar with appearances in mainstream movies like Romeo Must Die and Queen of the Damned. She was on her way before her life was tragically taken in that plane crash. The other thing that really did Aaliyah no favors was the fact that her music was not available on Spotify for a really long time. Mercifully, it seems like that dispute has been resolved. So if I have one wish for this collaboration with The Weeknd, it's that his popularity is going to bring more eyeballs and ear holes to Aaliyah now that her stuff is available again, and hopefully she's going to come back into the public consciousness in her own right and reclaim the legacy that was rightfully hers. So I think that's going to do it for another reaction video from the Out on That Line Music podcast. This is the part where I plug your involvement. I want to know what you want to hear. So go ahead, you can drop your suggestions in the comments for things you want me or Jeff to react to. You can also reach us on Instagram at Out on That Line, on Twitter at Out on That Line 1, and at Gmail, outonthatline@gmail.com. Let us know what you want to hear. We love to make your dreams come true and fulfill your requests. You're so good to us, we want to be good to you. Until next time.